हेलो एंड गुड आफ्टरनून गाइस। रेडियो जिंदगी पर आप पहुंचे हैं। आप ट्यूसडे ठीक 4:10 पर। दिस इज आरजे वेदिका। एवरी ट्यूसडे मुलाकात होती है आपकी डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया के साथ ऑन रेडियो जिंदगी, जहां आप अपने प्रश्न पूछते हैं, वो आपको जवाब देते हैं। एज ही इज एन एस्ट्रोलॉजर, ही इज अ सर्टिफाइड न्यूमरोलॉजिस्ट with over 25 years of experience and 12,000 plus clients, satisfied clients. Saket ji combines the power of astrology and numerology to guide you, to answer your questions, and of course, to navigate you through life's challenges. You can connect with him directly by calling 408 639 5300. ये डायरेक्ट नंबर है जहां आप कॉल कर सकते हैं, कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, अपॉइंटमेंट ले सकते हैं, और या फिर आप उनकी वेबसाइट से भी उनकी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन ले सकते हैं। वेबसाइट इज बाय हिज फर्स्ट एंड लास्ट नेम saketbhatia.com। एंड नंबर एक बार फिर से जहां डायरेक्टली कॉल कर सकते हैं इज 408 639 5300। अभी शो के दौरान अगर आपका कोई सवाल है, यू कैन कॉल अस ऑन द स्टूडियो लाइन नंबर। वील ओपन द लाइन शॉर्टली। द नंबर इज 510 770 1550। That is for a quick call right now during the show. And be ready with the date, time, and place of birth when you're calling. And if your question is regarding astrology, numerology, or it could be regarding Vastu as well. So, with that, let's begin. Hello and welcome, Dr. Bhatia. How are you doing today?
Doing wonderful, Vedika. It's 4:15. Good afternoon to all our listeners. It's actually good to be back. What do you say?
Absolutely. And today's topic has really got me hooked. We are going to talk about something which is applicable to everyone, right?
Yes, but you seem to be very enthusiastic about it.
Of course I am, and I'm certain listeners will be too when I'll inform कि आज compatibility के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं।
We talk about compatibility. Introduction dete hain, why? So, many people come and meet me, right? You would think the number one thing people come to an astrologer is health. और आपको लगता होगा कि करियर के लिए आते हैं. It's not neither of them. It's always compatibility. The number one thing I can safely say, almost 35% of all the appointments I do is related to compatibility alone. That's it. Relationships, business partnerships, how you're going to get along with friends, social studies, social network, spouse, parents, siblings, children. This is what they want to know. And there is one house for all of this. So that's what we'll discuss today.
जी, so can we start with like for example if you have two charts, आप जब शुरू करते हैं उन्हें देखना, एनालाइज करना, so how do you start analyzing the charts first of all, and what is the pre-work or groundwork जो कि आप करते हैं while doing that?
Hey, you brought up a very interesting point. What is the pre-work or groundwork? So I want to explain to listeners कि जब इस शो पे आप फोन करते हो and you tell me I don't have a job or when will I buy a house or something along those lines, right? It is relatively easy because you're targeting one person. But very often, astrologers like myself are asked to compare two charts to indicate compatibility, but compatibility regarding what? Marriage, friendship, or business partnership. ये तीन categories होती हैं. See, we also define compatibility in terms of these three partnerships: marriage or business relationship and friendship. Before we can embark or before we can even say कि comparison क्या हो दो charts का, it is very important कि each chart be read individually. We have to first gain a perspective of the individual themselves, and then only we can understand how compatible they will be together. If you have fire, you have ice. You know fire is fiery. You know ice at the end of the day will thaw. If you join these two together, it's not going to do well. Both are going to suffer. Correct?
Right.
Same way, individuals ko pata. See, if one chart shows a great deal of difficulty in opening up emotionally, or one chart shows a very aggressive nature, or a very combative nature, or a very dominant nature, then you know कि problem hoga no matter what the other person's chart is. Correct? So many people always come and ask me, I'm suffering in this. Is it my chart? Is it this? I'm like, not necessarily. It could be, does my chart show suffering? I'm like, no, it doesn't show suffering. It just shows somebody who will be fine in a relationship. Apparently, your partner's chart does not. Partner's chart shows They want to give suffering. They are not adapting. They're not easygoing. So we have to examine each chart differently, okay, individually. Understanding rakho ki who you are and what problems are likely to occur. See, people don't have problems in married life just for finances. They don't have problems just because we don't have kids. They also have problems because of career. You're doing
Right.
something, I'm not doing anything. They
Hmm.
also have for travel. They also have for giving time to each other or common hobbies, common interests. ये सब discuss
Choices.
करना है.
Yeah. G. Very important.
So,
Yeah, of course.
so you asked me what is the homework we have to do.
G.
So before you can come to any astrologer, we need to spend at least an hour on this chart, especially on compatibility. First हमें देखना है कि seventh house जो है, right? Seventh house.
Mm-hmm.
Who is placed on either side of the seventh house? अगर अच्छे planets हो, relationship in your chart will go smooth. All right. अगर बुरे planets हो, relationship will be tough. Okay, which means your adapting to relationships will be tough. अगर seventh house lord अपने ही जगह से 6, 8 या 12 घर दूर हो सातवें घर से, then it always causes some relationship issues. Difficulties are supposed to happen. But Vedika, those difficulties don't happen throughout. They happen जब दशा या अंतर दशा of the seventh lord will come. So for all your listeners, seventh lord देखिए, उसकी placement देखिए सातवें घर से कहाँ है. अगर सातवें घर से 6, 8, 12 घर दूर है, yes, this is an indication of some problems. But not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Only during dasha or antar dasha of that. Now, अगर उसके ऊपर राहु केतु बैठा हो during transit और दशा हो, then it's definitely a bigger problem. Aspect भी important है. We notice जब शनि का aspect पड़ता है marriage house पे, the the successful marriage is delayed. I mark my words carefully. The successful marriage is delayed. Okay. Plus, Saturn usually gives an age difference between the spouse. काफी होता है. So, examine the condition of the seventh house, the lord of the seventh house, शनि, and एक नवम कुंडली होती है, which is called the D9 chart.
Mm-hmm.
इसमें seventh lord की placement भी देखनी पड़ती है. Okay. Exactly जैसे आप seventh house पढ़ रहे हो राशि चार्ट में वैसे ही पढ़ना पड़ता है. This relationship और अगर marriage देख रहा हो, and let's say this marriage is between a man and a woman. Okay. I say that because I get man and man, I get woman, woman. Couples come to me all the time. अगर man और woman की कुंडली देखनी है, then in addition to seventh lord, for the woman you must look at Jupiter. For the man you must look at Venus.
Mm-hmm.
अगर same gender पढ़ना हो, then we have to look at Jupiter and Mars for man, and Venus and Mars for a woman. तो Jupiter नहीं देखते हैं. So same gender relationship is also, you'll be surprised, but जब astrology के rules लिखे थे same gender relationship भी लिखा था. Same gender does not necessarily mean marriage, business partnership.
Partnership. Yeah,
काफी
of
लोग
course.
कहते हैं
Mm-hmm.
कि I had an interesting lady who met me yesterday and said, I want to start a business, but I don't want to do it with another woman. Okay, why? I just don't want. I have
G.
had men tell me, I just don't want to work with another man. Okay, आपकी कुंडली क्या कहती है? What does it say? Does it say you should start with the same gender, opposite gender? What does it support? Those are very important questions. So again, relationship, seventh house is not only marriage, it is partnership, friendship, business. ये सारा आता है. कितनी बार होता है कि दो लोग बिजनेस में घुस जाते हैं, one works a lot more than the other, one gets cheated. होता है. Why? Seventh lord देखिए. कितनी बार होता है कि two people, they work together, they can't get along, but still the business grows and flourishes. Why? Seventh house देखिए. The lord will give birth to partnership, the house will sustain that, and the Karak will see how much you enjoy the output of that particular house.
जी, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड सेवेंथ हाउस पे आपने इतना एम्फेसाइज किया है. विल टॉक मोर अबाउट दैट. कपल ऑफ कॉलर्स वेट कर रहे हैं. कैन वी क्विकली स्टार्ट टेकिंग कॉल्स? हेलो, you're on air with Dr. Saket Bhatia.
Namaste Bhatia ji, how are you?
I must say, I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Doing good, thank you. जी मेरी डेट ऑफ बर्थ है December 16th 1984, नागपुर
Okay.
महाराष्ट्र, रात के 2 बजे 2 AM.
Nagpur, Maharashtra, रात के 2 बजे. And what is your
That's
question?
right. जी साकेत जी मेरा ना ले ऑफ हो गया था एंड आई एम ट्राइंग टू सी व्हेन आई कैन गेट द जॉब. आई एम गिविंग एक्टिवली इंटरव्यूज बट आई एम नॉट गेटिंग रिस्पॉन्स. सो आई एम जस्ट want to know by when I can get the job.
Nagpur, December 16,
Yes,
1984, 2
that's right.
o'clock in the morning.
Yes,
तो
yes.
आपकी जो कुंडली बनती है, यू आर वर्गो असेंडेंट. अच्छा,
Hmm.
वर्गो को हम कन्या लगन कहते हैं और आपकी राशि जो है वो कन्या राशि है. नक्षत्र है उत्तर फाल्गुनी नक्षत्र. दिस इज बिकमिंग इम्पोर्टेंट. अब देखते हैं कि यू वांट टू गेट अ जॉब. जॉब के लिए देयर आर टू हाउसेस दैट आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वन इज द सिक्स्थ हाउस जो सर्विस का घर है एंड टेंथ हाउस जो प्रमोशन का घर है. बोथ ऑफ दीज अगर एक्टिव हो ना तो जॉब मिल जाता है. दशा किसकी चल रही है? दशा चल रही है जुपिटर शनि की, which started in February of 2025. गली का मंडी छठे घर में बैठा है, so that is related to Mercury, nothing to do with any other planet. Jupiter is casting a direct aspect on seventh house. I mean ninth, 10th house, which means good chance of getting a job. Shani is exalted and Lord of what we call sixth house. But Shani जो है इसकी आदि दशा अब खत्म होके the next आदि दशा starts in Jan. Jupiter, Saturn being 11 houses away, Jupiter not being debilitated, Saturn not being debilitated, you will get a job. You just have to try. Transit में Jupiter 10th house पे है, you have to get a job.
तो अभी
Nothing
मिल
is
जाएगा
pointing.
साकेत जी जल्दी?
Saturn from February 2025 to 2027 September तक है. So the chance of you getting a job is actually better starting end of January 2026. Will you get a job? Yes. You will not get a job. You have to get a job. The only reason you won't get a job is if you stop applying and say I'm tired. Job ki dasha hai, so don't make a mistake. You should be employed before May of next year. Yes, it seems difficult because May lamba hai. This is what the Kundli says. Saturn is also playing a very critical role and he'll give you a long-term stable job. Apply now.
इस साल मिलेगा क्या साकेत जी? ये साल मिल सकता है क्या?
Hard. As highly unlikely. Highly
Okay,
unlikely.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
You
okay.
will get a long-term good job. Take care. Bye.
Okay, thank you साकेत जी.
थैंक यू सो मच. अगर आप और जानना चाहते हैं अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन या आपके और कोई सवाल हैं, डायरेक्टली कॉल कर सकते हैं डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया को 408-639-5300 और यू कैन राइट टू हिम info@saketbhatia.com. Let's take another call. Hello, you're on air with Dr. Saket Bhatia.
Namaste Saket ji. My name is Varsha. I'm calling about my child. Date of birth is March 26, 1996. Born in Pleasanton, California, Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon.
Is it for your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. And
So,
what is your question?
she's really bothered by not able to find a job, and that's affecting her mood and relationship. Graduated with dual masters this summer. What can we
Start with the
expect?
congratulations. Dual masters is good. Single masters ही लोग कर नहीं सकते. Double masters is even better. So let's see, right? Your question is when will she get a job?
Yeah, to her liking. She's doing something now, but to her liking.
Just to reconfirm,
She's
right?
losing the
12:30
p.m., 12:30 p.m. afternoon on a Tuesday, March 26,
12:30 p.m.
96.
Now, if I look at this, when does your daughter graduate?
This May end, 1990, this year, 2025.
Graduated this
Master's.
year, 2025.
Yeah, she had
You
done
just
bachelor's
started
and work.
bachelor's and I'm sorry?
She had done bachelor's, then she worked for a few years, then went back to grad school and just graduated this summer.
So in this particular Kundli, she is a Kark Lagat, Cancer ascendant. She was running a Jupiter Dasha, which is all about work, which is all about career growth and, you know, just in general a good Dasha. अब शनि दशा स्टार्ट हो गई थी. Saturn in general is considered tough. It is a difficult dasha for anybody. Saturn is representing breaks. It is not representing career. Saturn is a double whammy wins, double problem for your daughter.
Mm.
Uh, I don't see her getting a job till I don't want to dishearten you. Job that you can get. You can just say I'll go to a Burger King, I'll get a job. But to her liking, to her capability, to her mindset, right? Those are three important things. Um, Mercury being debilitated hurts. The fifth house, the ninth house. I think your daughter's going to get a job sometime towards the middle part of next year. That is the earliest I see it here.
Okay. Anything that can be done
Saturn,
to improve our chances?
Saturn Dasha was Saturn has come on Saturn. This is a once in 30-year transit. It's a life-changing transit for her. Um, I mean, what can she do? It's not like Saturn is very strong here. It's just the Dasha that started is wrong. In this Kundali, Jupiter, इसकी दशा खत्म. शनि के बीच में I'll take it back. I don't see her getting a job till till middle of next year. What can you do? Not much. There's nothing I can do here. I'm sorry. कभी दशा फेवर में नहीं होती. Maybe she can go back to school and take some courses. Maybe she can just do some internship somewhere. But a full-term job is not coming that early. Not here.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks.
To all the listeners tuned in, सुन रहे हैं आप Astrology Show with Dr. Saket Bhatia. And if you have any questions, you can either call during the show right now, 510-770-1550, or call him directly after the show at 408-639-5300. डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया जो कि एक एस्ट्रोलॉजर हैं, न्यूमरोलॉजिस्ट हैं, हमारे साथ ऑन एयर हैं अभी. दिस इज अ लाइव शो, सो यू कैन कॉल विद एनी क्वेश्चन यू हैव इन योर माइंड. So we were talking about the chart analysis and you emphasized on seventh house. So it's all about the seventh house, and can we get a general guide to planet relation to the seventh house?
We're talking strictly about relationship. We're talking about
Ji.
business partnership. We're talking about marriage, friendship, right? So let's talk about general guide जो आपने कहा है, right? अगर first of all go to my website saketbhatia.com. वहां पर एक कुंडली मेकर है. Make a कुंडली. Compatibility checker भी है, but make a कुंडली and see आपका जो seventh house है उसमें क्या बैठा है. If there is nothing, consider yourself actually lucky. Most planets are not welcome in the seventh house. अगर सेवेंथ हाउस में सन बैठा हो या सेवेंथ हाउस को देख रहा हो, which means sun is placed in the first house or seventh house, then this is actually considered a difficult influence on the marriage house. अगर फर्स्ट हाउस में हो, you will be a dominating person. सेवेंथ हाउस में हो, partner is typically dominating, strong-willed, not necessarily adapting easily. Okay, so sun is a ruler. They don't want to be told what to do. So you may not, if you have sun in the first, you are not happy or you're not listening carefully. अगर सेवेंथ में है, partner is not listening. Let's look at moon. Moon अगर first house या seventh house में हो, it is considered fortunate. It gives successful, emotionally close relationship. But if this same moon is less than 72 degrees from the sun and he is further waning, not waxing but waning, then this is almost always given a second marriage. Okay. अगर मार्स सेवेंथ हाउस पे हो या मार्स सेवेंथ हाउस पे एस्पेक्ट हो, इट कॉजेस टेंशन. वी कॉल दिस मंगल दोष, राइट? इट कॉजेस टेंशन इन द रिलेशनशिप, इट कॉजेस टेंशन इन द मैरिज. शादी जनरली जल्दी होती है, एक्स्ट्रा मैरिटल अफेयर्स के भी चांसेस होते हैं, बट इफ जुपिटर इज एस्पेक्टिंग मार्स, वी नो एक्स्ट्रा मैरिटल अफेयर है, जस्ट बिकॉज दैट इज द नेचर ऑफ मार्स. अगर मर्क्यूरी फिफ्थ हाउस सेवेंथ हाउस में हो या उसे एस्पेक्ट कर रहा हो, it gives mixed results because Mercury has no identity. It's a youthful house. Generally, a relationship is based on shared interest, common interest. People getting Vedic, people joining into a relationship and saying, "Oh, when we were just before marriage, we'd go out so much, we'd have so much fun, and now nothing." That is Mercury. That common interest is gone. Okay. And now life hits you and says there's much more than just going for a movie or going hiking or writing quotes together. Jupiter अगर सेवेंथ हाउस में हो या ऐसे एस्पेक्ट कर रहा हो, that is considered to be by far the best planetary aspect on the seventh house. It gives stability in marriage. अगर Venus seventh house पे हो, it's another favorable position. It gives an attractive spouse. It gives a loving romantic approach towards relationship. But अगर यही Venus पे राहु केतु हो, then it causes loose morals. It's not considered good. And finally, the three planets, Shani, Rahu, Ketu. Saturn in the seventh house. Many years later, you will realize that the relationship चल रही है, right? क्यों चल रही है नहीं पता, stability देता है marriage में, but difficulty देता है. It also gives age difference between the partners, right? There can be sometimes difficult or sorrowful conditions. अगर राहु को seventh house में, it disturbs the long-term harmony. Initially everything is good, long-term problem देता है. And finally, अगर केतु हो, too many ups and downs. Okay, you get cheating, financial cheating, hiding, that kind of stuff. So ये तो छोटे छोटे descriptions हुए, right? Like
जी।
short descriptions.
हम्म।
Over time, we've realized that it is not just Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, outer planets, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, इनको भी लेना पड़ता है. अगर Uranus seventh house में हो, not looking at it now, अगर इसमें हो, it increases the likelihood of separation. It gives at a minimum two marriages. At a minimum.
ओके।
Okay. अगर Neptune seventh house में हो, it generally gives confusion, deception around this relationship. And finally, अगर Pluto seventh house में हो, it is not a good placement. Disruptive influence है शादी पे. It prevents any stable relationship, business, partnership. It prevents anything meaningful from taking root. It gives problems in life. Now, again, these are not to be construed only in terms of marriage. They should also be looked at in business partnership. तो अगर आपकी कुंडली में सन है seventh house and you're looking for a business partner, notice that you likely will be taking orders from that person. अगर moon है आपके seventh house में, that person you will work with will be very easily adapting to you. So this is important when you partner with people, you start a business, you start a company. Look at these things. They're very important. Do not start businesses without this. Do not make friends that you'll do long-term business with without this. ये important होता है.
जी, बिल्कुल। एंड आई थिंक इनिशियली और जनरली लोगों के दिमाग में परसेप्शन होता है ओनली व्हेन टू पीपल आर गेटिंग मैरिड और गेटिंग इनटू अ रिलेशनशिप मैचिंग द चार्ट इज important, but you said it so rightly that in every aspect you can see if there is a good amount of compatibility. So if you are listening to us and you are looking for a partnership or a relationship, जो भी आपका पर्पस है, अगर कंपैटिबिलिटी आप जांचना चाहते हैं, देखना चाहते हैं, तो ज़रूर कनेक्ट कीजिए डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया के साथ. एज आई मेंशन अर्लियर ऑल्सो, द वेबसाइट इज़ द बेस्ट सोर्स. सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलेगी आपको. इट्स saketbhatia.com. सो हम सेवेंथ हाउस के बारे में अभी बात कर रहे थे एंड यू गेव डिटेल्ड आइडिया अबाउट दैट. व्हाट अबाउट द सेवेंथ हाउस लॉर्ड? लाइक उसके बारे में भी अगर कुछ गाइडलाइन एंड हाउ डज दैट फैक्टर इन व्हेन इट कम्स टू
So remember,
कंपैटिबिलिटी?
when we started, we said first आपकी कुंडली में seventh house देखना है.
जी.
Okay. Let's say you, Vedika, want to start a business. Assume, hypothetically.
हम्म।
And you come to me and say, मुझे business करना है, what should I do? वो तो पहले लास्ट एक शो में डिस्कस किया था कि we have to look at your sun ascendant moon. We must look at the 10th lord, find its placement in the Navamsh, and find it back in the D Rashi chart. And with that, with 100% accuracy, we can tell you what is the right business slash job slash career for you. Okay. Then if you say मुझे किसी के साथ पार्टनरशिप करनी है, सेवंथ हाउस के लेफ्ट एंड राइट पे कौन से प्लैनेट से will also impact, because if you have Pap Katri Yog, it makes it difficult. If you have good planets, you yourself will feel more energetic in a business partnership. Sometimes people jump into partnership thinking growth hogi, but then they realize that this is not what I expected. It is you, your Pap Katri Yog, not theirs.
हम्म।
Now we also discussed different planets which are placed in the seventh house. अब फ्लिप करके देखेंगे जो सेवंथ हाउस लॉर्ड है वो कहाँ बैठा है आपका. उसके बेस पे हमें पता चलेगा हाउ सक्सेसफुल this business partnership slash marriage is going to be. So the first is emotional aspect, second is the success you will have, and third is इसका outcome क्या होगा. Do you
जी
understand?
जी
You could be suffering through business or marriage, but you'll still have a job, you'll still have family, and at the end of it, everything works out fine. The other thing is you have no mental stress, you put a lot of effort, the two of you don't fight, and the business collapses. So placement of the Lord will tell us कि outcome क्या होगा, वो देखना है.
ओके
This is all about outcome. Should we start?
जी
Okay. अगर seventh Lord first house में बैठा है, he is sitting exactly across from his own house. That means he is looking at his own house. When the seventh Lord sits in first and looks at his own house, he strengthens that house. वो अच्छा देता है. Okay, he strengthens it. Now you can go and say, hold on. Suppose Sun is Lord of the seventh, and he is sitting in the first house. What will he do? He will give you a dominating nature, but at the same time, a dominating, gentle nature which will help your spouse grow. It will help guide your spouse into a better relationship. Use those two in conjunction. Okay. अगर seventh lord second house में बैठा है, financial gains through spouse. It can also mean difficulty for your spouse. You will push your spouse to boundaries. हमें पैसे बनाने हैं. You must go for a job. You must do this business. You must do that. Or if you have a partner, we must grow this company this way. But at the same time, you will cause difficulties for them, but gains होंगे. अगर third house में हो, it indicates a strong desire or desires that will be fulfilled. ये अच्छा placement है. पार्टनरशिप के लिए अच्छा है, शादी के लिए अच्छा नहीं है. ये उल्टा हो जाता है थोड़ा. अगर fourth house में हो, seventh lord, very good placement. No issue with marriage life, no issue with business. In fact, your partners will become family friends. You guys will do very well. यही अगर fifth house में हो, again, extremely good. In fact, just as good as fourth house. Now, suppose seventh lord sixth में बैठा हो. That is now 12 houses away from where he's supposed to be, which is the house of loss. It causes discord. It causes separation. It causes problems. अगर घर सातवें में बैठा हो, then it is definitely the best. Na?
या
Nothing can hurt that. अगर सातवां lord eighth house में बैठा हो, eighth is destruction. Eighth is complete, like you're hitting think of yourself as a car which is hitting a wall. It indicates loss of partner, indicates divorce. Almost always. ये कब होगा? जब सेवेंथ लॉर्ड की दशा होगी. अगर नाइन्थ में बैठा हो, it is considered auspicious. Relationship will be sound because inner values अच्छी हैं, दोनों के bonding अच्छी होती है. If seventh lord is placed in 10th, you will help each other's career grow. I've had cases where two friends started a company. The investor gave them money and said, I want one of you out. The other said, no, you cannot kick him out. You kick him out, I will leave. Look at the Kundali, 7th Lord and 10th. They help each other grow their career. 11th house, Vedic as house of growth, remember?
जी
Gains. Agar 7th Lord इसमें चला जाता है, it gives happy, successful marriage. And finally, 7th Lord 12th में जाता है, not so much happiness in business from partners, not so much happiness from marriage. There may be separation or divorce, or the spouse will generally have a shorter life. Now, this does not apply if the seventh lord is also lord of 12th. For a Scorpio, if you happen to be Venus, which is placed in 12th house, this does not apply to you. This is just what we call edge case.
जी
जो हमें अच्छा नहीं लगता है, Mars and Saturn occupying the same house. अगर मंगल शनि एक ही घर में बैठे हों एंड उनके ऊपर कोई अच्छा प्लैनेट नहीं देख रहा, it will lead to quarrels in business, quarrels in married life, creating unhappiness, misunderstanding, and finally dissolution, separation. अगर शनि आठवें घर में हो, then शनि आठवें घर में and he is looking at Mars, which is, let's say, square aspect, चार घर दूर उससे, then also forget the seventh house. If Mars and Saturn are 4 houses away, it causes problems in a relationship.
जी।
And finally, we cannot forget कि हमें एक दूसरे की interpretations देखनी पड़ती है modern approach में भी, right? You cannot have. I've had cases where a doctor wanted to start an AI company. The doctor is sitting with an engineer, totally different, unrelated, right? But Kundli कहती है, you guys can still do it together. So modern approach लेना पड़ता है when it comes to business, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to partnership. But all I'm trying to tell you, this is really difficult to do. It takes time.
जी।
Conclusions जो आपने बनाने हैं, this is a process. It makes steps. All these steps have to be followed for two separate charts, for two separate people. So Rashi chart for one, Rashi chart for two, Navam's chart for one, Navam's chart for two. Vedika, you can come back and say, what if you have more than three partners? Well,
Yeah.
you'll have to do the exact same thing for the third person also. So what we
Wow.
do is person one with two, person
Mhm.
two with three, person three with one.
All the
That's how you map it
mix
out.
and matching. Yeah. Oh,
You
great.
have to.
It is a lot of work, definitely. And of course, great experience will come in handy. We have callers waiting since long time. Let's quickly take calls.
Sure.
Hello, you're on air with Dr. Saket Bhatia. Thanks for holding.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Bhatia. This is Hema. I have a question about my son. His date of birth is October 15, 2003. Place of birth is Santa Clara, and his time of birth is 11:33 a.m. So
What
he
is your
is
question?
currently so my question is about his education prospects. So he's currently in undergrad, last year of undergrad, and he doesn't seem to be inclined towards pursuing his master's right away. So he's saying he wants to take a 1-year break and, figure out what he wants to do. So that's kind of bothering me. So I was wondering if he will pursue further education, and when will that be? Or
When is your son
does he have
graduating?
any job prospects lined up for him? Like, how does it look for the next year or two?
When does your son graduate?
He graduates May or June of this year, June of 2026.
Okay. So just for your son, October 15th, 2003, 11:33 in Santa Clara, right?
Yes.
He's a Scorpio ascendant in Vedic astrology. He's ruled by the planet Mars. His Jupiter is actually making a very powerful, strong yoga. And Jupiter is Vargotam, means अपने ही घर में बैठा है, बहुत strong है. That Jupiter
Okay.
Dasha is starting July 16th, 2026. That Jupiter is going to pull him into work. It's going to pull him away from career. And it's not making him go back to school. Let your son work. Okay. If he wants to go back to school, he can, but not yet. Maybe he can go get a business degree if he wants. I would recommend that over getting another degree in something else. Get that in 2031, not before that. He's running Jupiter, which is all about career. Why do you want to push him into the advanced degree when the Dasha is not there? Let him work.
Mhm.
So let him work. Let him
Okay.
go back to school in 31. Between 31 and 34 is all about getting a part-time degree or whatever he wants. But no, he should not be. I mean, I rarely say this, but his Dasha is not for going back to school. It is about working. He's right. Let him work.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying that it won't happen, like no matter how much ever we push him to pursue further education, it's not going to materialize until 2031.
That's not true. Humans have what we call free will. In free will, you can choose. What I think is likely going to happen is he's going to go back to school if you force him. He's going to be disappointed.
Mhm.
He's going to quit halfway and say, I'm getting a job. I don't want to do this.
Mhm.
Usually, planets, when they are strong, now they will pull you towards it. And his Jupiter is very strong in career. Don't force him.
Mhm.
He will not be happy and he won't
Okay.
complete. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Good
All
luck.
right. All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bhatia.
If you have further questions, as always, would like to repeat the direct number where you can reach out to him, 408-639-5300, or write to him, info@saketbhatia.com. Let's take another call. Hello, you're on air with Dr. Saket Bhatia. Thank you so much for holding.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, go
Hello,
ahead.
how are you?
I'm good. Hello, Dr. Saket. How are you?
Wonderful. What about you? Good?
Yeah, sure. I have one question. My date of birth is May 20th, 1980.
May 20th, you said?
Yeah, May 2020, 1980.
Okay.
Um, uh, Date of birth time is 12:20 p.m. afternoon.
Okay.
And the place is Miraj, M-I-R-A-G, Miraj, Maharashtra.
Okay. And what is your
Um,
question?
Yeah, my question is related with my immigration. So last year I filed my green card. I was expecting to be get it, receive everything by this June, but looks like it's getting a lot of delays. Actually, more than earlier that one. So just wanted to know when this can be get materialized.
So the question here is about immigration. You said you're born in Miraj, M-I-R-A-J,
Yes.
Miraj, Maharashtra, no? I got that
Yeah.
place. And you said, when will you get your green card? See,
Yeah.
you're very interesting, Kundli. Has anybody ever told you that?
Yeah, last time you told me I really wanted to make an appointment just to get good out of everything. I think I'm not potentially taking out what I have, but I definitely need some guidance. So it's in my list.
You are not taking your potential out. Look at your Kundli. You have Rahu, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, all sitting in the first house. इतने सारे planets एक घर में. Your 10th house has your own business, your own intelligence, your own ability to start something. You are single-handedly making a mistake. But again, this question is regarding immigration, right? Immigration ke liye,
Mhm.
the best thing to do is to focus on two houses. First is the 9th house, which is house of long-term travel. And then there is the 12th house, which is house of foreign residence. अब जो 9th house है उस पर कोई aspect नहीं है, which means you're not traveling, which means you're not losing your visa, you're not going back. Good. अब देखते हैं दशा किसकी चल रही है. दशा चल रही है Sun Mercury की, which is again career centered, career focused. This will be followed by Sun Ketu, and Ketu in this kundli acts like Saturn, which is sitting in the house of Sun. Jupiter is going to transit into. I see you getting it only after May of next year.
Wow,
Oh,
that's too late.
why is it too late?
Yeah, because I was expecting this year by June or July. That was the timeline generally other people started. So I don't know why there is a delay on with my case only that I don't know.
Assuming you've given me the exact time, 12:20, right? Because your time, even if you give me little off, it will make a difference. Jupiter is still not in transit in the house of foreign residence. It comes on the house of foreign residence in May.
Okay.
So, wo kya? Okay, planets move forward. When they go retrograde, they move back. Right now, Jupiter is going into your house of residence, but he's only going to be there till November 21st, if that makes any sense. So, November 1st to 21st, he's going to go into the house of foreign residence. If you get a green card in that 20 days, good. Nahi mila, you're not getting it till May because he starts going back retrograde. And when he goes back into the 11th house, फिर 12वें घर पे नहीं आता. So, the only chance you have is, like I said, the 20 days in November, or it's definitely after May. But May ke baad, it's very strong. Okay, I would still say May. I don't think it's happening this year. But let us know.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
Yeah.
So we did talk about the seventh house. We did talk about the seventh house lord. Now, what about the relationship of ascendants when it comes to partnership?
That is a very interesting. very difficult to answer question.
Okay.
देखो जब कुंडलियां पढ़ते हैं और किसी को शादी करनी है या बिजनेस पार्टनरशिप करना है, आई टोल्ड यू एक एक कुंडली सेपरेट पढ़ी है, राइट?
जी.
डू यू एग्री?
Yeah.
But if you want to do quick analysis, this is what you do. You look at the ascendant, which is the first house. Then you look at the other person's ascendant. अगर दोनों ascendant एक दूसरे से 6, 8 या 12 घर दूर है, then it causes stress in relationship. For example, let's say somebody is Pisces. उनका लगन Pisces है.
Mm-hmm.
And the other person, जिनका आप देख रहे हो, is Aquarius. अब Pisces से Aquarius 12 घर दूर हो गया, right?
Yeah.
Because from Pisces you go Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, dot 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 to Aquarius. 12 घर means loss. Over time, there will be some loss related to this relationship. Right? अगर छठा घर हो, which is छठा घर कौन सा हुआ Pisces से? Leo. अगर Leo हुआ या 8वां घर हुआ Libra, then also it's going to cause some problems. This is a very quick, dirty analysis. It works. It works in most cases. First look at the ascendant और देखिए दोनों का ascendant एक दूसरे से कितने घर दूर है. Okay. Then we have to take one step and then we say common interests, social attitude, etc. Forget these planets. हमें यही देखना था. First house ascendant कितने दूर है. The next thing we'll do is moon sign. मून एक का कौन से घर में बैठा है और दूसरे इंडिविजुअल का कहाँ बैठा है. ओके. अगर ये दोनों मून भी 6, 8 या 12 घर दूर हो, then there is an other problem emotionally because moon runs emotions. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So now if you have somebody with Pisces and the other with Aquarius, the Aquarian is not having problem with Pisces. The Pisces will have problem with Aquarian because 12 घर दूर है. अब देखिए
Okay.
कि जो Pisces था उनका मून कहाँ है. Let's say उनका मून स्कॉर्पियो में है. एंड जो Aquarian था उनका मून कहाँ है. If it's in Libra, वो फिर 12 घर दूर हो गया. Now we know that body wise and emotionally they're not going to be together just because signs are different.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing we'll do is we should see contact between the first and seventh house. What do you mean by contact? Contact means जो first lord है, जो हमारा first lord है, वो
जी.
दूसरे के first house में कहाँ बैठा है? Is it making any connection with the seventh lord of that person? And then जो second individual है, उनका first lord हमारे seventh lord के साथ कोई conjunction या aspect कर रहा है. If it is, then all the things I've discussed get thrown out of the bin. This overrules. This becomes a very strong aspect.
Okay.
On the other hand, अगर ये भी नहीं match हो, now we're getting to points where we're like, no, it doesn't really work out. आपने ये 36 गुण सुने हैं. You've heard that concept,
जी.
right?
जी.
It is based on this. These are the calculations that go into this 36 points. मून आपका कहाँ है, कितने घर दूर है. असेंडेंट कहाँ है, कितने घर दूर है. आपका फर्स्ट हाउस, उनका सेवंथ हाउस. उनका फर्स्ट लॉर्ड, आपका सेवंथ हाउस. And finally, the most important thing which I always do is what I call chart overlay.
Mm.
A chart overlay is very easy. You take your chart, you take the other person's chart, and then you put the other person's chart on top of your chart.
Right.
And then you take the other person's chart and put your chart on top of the other person's chart. So now you have two charts. You are inner, the other person is outer, and then you are outer and the other person is inner. ये दो masks बन गए. Now we will study. Remember, the outer thing is always influencing the inner. So let's assume, right? Let's assume कि for those of you, because I get lots of emails later कि हमें questions है. ये अच्छी practice है. Let's call one person's chart A. Let's call the other person's chart B. Okay, हम overlap जब करते हैं, mark the degrees and positions. Then we'll see how interaction takes place between planets. Suppose chart B का Jupiter falls very close to Moon in chart A. What is Jupiter? Expansion, growth, wisdom. What is Moon? It is the mind of the other person. You will help expand their mind, give them good luck, you will give them good fortune, you will give them good things because this is a good relationship. But instead of Jupiter, let's say it is Saturn. You are only going to cause stress to them, or they are going to feel stress from you. They will feel emotionally restricted. They will have inferiority complex. Very important to study this. अब वो किस घर पे हो रहा है वो भी देखना पड़ता है. If it is happening on the first house, then this person is not going to be able to express things to you, right? अगर आपका, let's say, person B का Venus occupies A's first house or seventh house, then it indicates very strong attraction in terms of doing work together. But अगर यही शनि हो, then it's going to cause issues, right? So शनि अगर आउटर में कहाँ बैठा हो, वो घर को स्ट्रेस देगा. Even two partners, two people who start a business, right, will always have some stress. You cannot say everything is always wonderful.
जी.
Do you agree? There's always some stress. They always call it two tracks of a train. If there are two tracks, there are wheels on the train. When there is a turn, the inner one has more stress than the outer one, right?
Right.
Do you agree? Same way in astrology also, जब दो chart आप overlap करोगे, you will realize that one influences the other and the other can influence the first, and intensity देखनी पड़ती है. Now, if majority of one person's chart fall on the angles, which is 1, 4, 7, 10 of another person's chart, it indicates a dynamic and intense nature of this relationship. Very positive, good relationship. Now let's assume कि सारे planet second house पे हो. It indicates wealth generation through business and partnership. यही अगर emphasis, third, sixth, ninth या 12th house पे हो, then that relationship will demand changes. It's not going to grow. You're going to have issues. You're going to have growth problems. So always look for your chart. Look at the other person's chart, whether it is business, whether it is marriage, whether it is compatibility, friendship. We have to study individually. We have to overlap. We have to see कि आपका moon कैसे impact हो रहा है, उनका moon कैसे impact हो रहा है. At the end of the day, they're two human beings.
Right.
Equal value for both. Nature छोड़ दीजिए. Equal value for both. Good, bad is in your head, right? We are here just to say how you're going to gel together, how compatible you're going to be. Because at the end of the day, the one thing you want is success and happiness. They're tied together. ये separate नहीं है. You cannot get one without the other. You cannot get success without happiness, and you can't be happy without being successful.
Without success. Yes, absolutely.
And it is not that hard for two people to make things work.
जी.
It really isn't. It really isn't. It is just in our mind.
You always leave it on, as I say again and again, on hope, on positivity, and of course, with a chance in every relationship, as we were talking about. So, एक important चीज which I wanted to hear from you was the Mangal dosh. क्योंकि कुंडली की जब भी बात आती है, मंगलिक होना is a big no-no or is a scary factor. So, can we cover it in the next episode?
Our next episode. Mangal dosh means getting spoiled by Mars. That's
जी.
what Mangal dosh means. ये generally business या friendship में नहीं होता, शादी में होता है. It is considered an affliction. There was no Mangal dosh in the original concept of astrology. नहीं था.
So it's
But
the
what
same
happens is,
as being Mangalik, right?
yes, it is
Okay.
the exact same thing.
Mhm.
Mangal dosh होता है when Mars is found in the first house, not for Aries, fourth house, not for Scorpio, seventh house, not for Capricorn and Pisces, eighth house, not for Cancer, and 12th house, not for Sagittarius. अगर Mars in घरों में हो and it's not one of these signs, you're Mangli. That's what it means. The logic is not apparent. The logic is hidden. People believe that अगर मंगल यहाँ बैठा हो, it is causing damage, either by occupation or marriage or not having kids or burning up wealth, family life. But think about it. Both the charts, if both the charts are showing Mangal dosh in the same house, बोलते cancel हो जाता है. How? It does not get cancelled because it doesn't really exist
Oh,
in the first place.
okay.
It doesn't really exist. Right? But generally क्या होता है, like I said, अगर किसी का Mars second house में, उसे गुस्सा ज्यादा आता है. If you have a person who's more receptive, it will be done. It will be fine. What did I just say? If you can change yourself, you can adapt. You
Right.
can't change the other person, so change yourself. Hopefully the other person will also change and adapt.
Yes,
And
hopefully.
this issue doesn't come all the time. It only comes during the dasha. So जब time आएगा देखा जाएगा. Till then, be happy. And टाइम आएगा अगले हफ्ते.
जी एब्सोल्युटली अगले ट्यूसडे 4 to 5 p.m. अगेन Dr. Bhatia honge live on Radio Zindagi, so do not forget to tune in. All the callers trying to reach us now on the studio line number. Sorry, we won't be able to take any more calls. आप सीधा कॉल कीजिए डॉक्टर भाटिया को if you have any questions. 408-639-5300 is the number. saketbhatia.com उनकी वेबसाइट है. You can also write to him. email कर सकते हैं आप info@saketbhatia.com. Thank you so much, Dr. Bhatia, for joining us. And of course, we'll continue the topic next week as well.
Thank you so much, Vedika. Bye-bye.
Thank you to all the listeners who were with us for this past 1 hour. Stay tuned. RJ Swati is coming next with Cruise Control.
You are listening to Radio Zindagi. KZDG